Hello friends, hope you all doing well. So today, now in this video I will discuss about the important questions or the important topics of from the all the chapter from biochemistry for the BDS exam, BDS first year exam. So let's start. So please subscribe my channel, and so let's start from the first chapter, that is carbohydrate. From the chapter carbohydrate, the important topics are, first of all, at first we'll discuss about the carbohydrates. The important topics of carbohydrate, that is gluconeogenesis. That is gluconeogenesis. So what is gluconeogenesis? Gluconeogenesis is the formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate substance. The formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate substance is called gluconeogenesis. The non-carbohydrate substances like lactic acid, amino acid, glycerol, etc. So here is the difference, the different topics here. Mainly liver and kidney is the main organ which cause gluconeogenesis. So here is the lactate to glucose, then amino acid to glucose, then the conversion of fatty acid to glucose in gluconeogenesis. There will be in gluconeogenesis. So now next topics, that is after gluconeogenesis, there is mucopolysaccharides or GAGs. Mucopolysaccharides, glycosaminoglycans. So second name is glycosaminoglycans. So GAGs, mucopolysaccharides, are the heteroglycans made up of repeating unit of sugar derivatives, namely amino sugars and uronic acids. They are more commonly known as glycosaminoglycans. So that is now the next topic, that is epimers. Epimers of glucose, like epimer. What is epimers? Epimers is the two monosaccharides. If two monosaccharides are differ from each other in their configuration around a single specific carbon atom, they are refers to as epimers to each other. For example, glucose and galactose are epimers. So now the next topics, that is important topic, is diabetes. Also important topics. Diabetes mellitus or diabetes, it is of is a metabolic disorder due to absolute or relative insulin deficiency. It is of two types there, type 1 diabetes mellitus and type 2 diabetes mellitus. Now the important topics, that is glycogen storage disorder. It's also important topic. That is, there are different glycogen storage disorders there, likely number 1, that is von Gerke's disease, which is caused by the deficiency enzyme is glucose 6 phosphatase. Silent features are enlargement of liver, kidney failure, etc. Then the second is disease, that is limit dextrinosis Cody's disease. First we have discussed about von Gerke's disease. Second, the Cody's disease. It's the enzyme is debrexing enzyme. The symptoms will be highly branched dextrin accumulation and hepatomegaly or myelopathy. And number that is Megarlis disease. It's caused by the muscles phosphatase. phosphorylase, and it will be here, it will be pain during exercise. And then the Tourette disease, then the Hirsch disease, Tourette disease, Lewis disease, these are the glycogen storage disorder. So the now next is important topics from this chapter is glycolysis. Next chapter is next important topic is glycolysis. Gluconeogenesis, then the glycolysis, or it's also named as EMP pathway. Glycolysis is defined as the sequence of reaction, as this sequence of reaction converting glucose to pyruvate or lactate with production of ATP. Converting glucose to pyruvate or lactate with the production of ATP, that is glycolysis. It causes that reaction converting glucose to pyruvate or lactate. The pathway of glycolysis can be defined as three distinct phases. They are number 1, energy investment phase or primitive phase, number 2, splitting phase, and number 3, that is energy generation phase. So these three phases are here. First is energy investment, is energy splitting phase, then the energy generation phase. Now the important topics, that is Krebs cycle. So Krebs cycle is also known as citric acid cycle. So it is the most important cycle metabolic pathway for the energy supply to the body, and its cause the site is mitochondrial matrix. In one Krebs cycle 12 ATP will be produced. So these were the important topics from the chapter carbohydrate. Now the next chapter, that is lipids. From the chapter lipids, that is most important or the important topics. There will be many topics in the chapter lipids, but I will tell you their important topics for exam, importance, only the importance here I'll discuss. So first is biochemical importance of fat. Fat are very important for highly concentration of polyunsaturated fatty acids in the lipids of gonads, are important in reproductive system functions. Then the classification. Lipid is organic substance relatively insoluble in water and soluble in organic substances like alcohol, ether, etc. Chemically, they are starts of fatty acids and some alcohols. Now the classification, it is classified into three types. They are simple, compound, and derived. Simple, compound, and number 3, it is derived. Simple, compound, and derived. There are three classified into T. Simple is like it is classified into two types. Simples are the esters of fatty acids. Esters of fatty acids with various alcohols. And compound is the esters of fatty acid containing group of addition to an alcohols and a fatty acids. And derived is by substances derived from the above groups by hydrolysis. So simply divided by 2, fat, wax. Compound is divided by phospholipid, glycolipid, sulfolipid, aminolipid, lipoprotein. So lipolipid. These are the classified compound, and derived no derivative. Now the important topics of this chapter. Next is essential amino fatty acid. Essential fatty acid which cannot be synthesized by the body, and therefore it should be supplied by the diet. are known as essential amino fatty acid. Essential fatty acid are linoleic acid and linolenic acid. Linoleic acid and linolenic acid. So functions of essential fatty acid, like number one, that is proper membrane structure. For the proper membrane structure, essential fatty acid is important. Number two, that is essential fatty acid is required for the transport of cholesterol. And number three, formation of lipoproteins. Number four, prevention of fat. Number five, they are also needed for the synthesis. They are also needed for the synthesis of another important groups of compounds like eosinoids. Now the deficiency of the essential fatty acid, like toad skin. Phenoderma or the toad skin is characterized by the presence of hernia eruptions on the posterior and lateral part of the limbs. On the back, on the buttocks, loss of hair and poor wounded healing. Number six, the next important topic from this chapter is phospholipid. Phospholipid is also important topic, that is actually phospholipid. As the first phospholipid was identified in the 1847. Phospholipids are the class of lipids, okay, and they are the major component of all the cell membranes. They can form lipid bilayers because of their amphiphilic characteristics, and the structure of phospholipids molecules generally consist of two hydrophobic fatty acid tails and a hydrophilic head consisting of phosphate group. Two components are joined together by a glycerol molecules, so that is phospholipids. So this chapter is complete. Now the next chapter, that is protein. From the chapter protein, the main important, one of the most important topic is importance of proteins. Importance of protein. Protein are the essential for the life processes. They are the fundamental and constituents of all the protoplasm and are involved in the structure of a living cell and in its function. So enzymes are made up of proteins, and many of the hormones are by proteins. So these are the mainly important for the protein. There are many importance of proteins. So now the next important topic is essential amino acid. That is essential amino acid. Essential amino acid, which is same as the essential fatty acid. These are also cannot synthesize by the body, and therefore it should be supplied by the diet, are known as essential amino acid. They are required for the proper growth and the maintenance of the individual. The 10 amino acids listed below are essential for humans. The 10 amino acids listed below are: number 1, arginine, valine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, then the threonine, tryptophan, etc. So there is a trick to remember all these amino acids are A, V, Hill, MPTT. A, Hill, A for arginine, V for valine, H for histidine, I for isoleucine, L for leucine, this L for lysine, methionine, then the phenylalanine, threonine, and tryptophan. So these are the essential amino acids. So next is amino acid is classified into two groups there. Number one, that is amino group and a carboxyl group here. Amino group is NH2 and the carboxyl group is COH. So now the next important topic is the tRNA or the transfer RNA. Now one of the most important topic from this chapter is urea cycle. Urea cycle. The formation of, so what is urea cycle? Urea cycle is a cyclic biochemical pathway reaction that produces urea from ammonia to urea. Ammonia to urea, uric acid. So urea cycle. So ammonia to urea, there has 5 steps in urea cycle. So for remember these steps, there is a trick to remember these steps of urea cycle, which are like ordinary careless scrappers are also furious about public urination. Ordinary careless scrappers are also furious about public urination. So ordinary, O for ornithine, O for ornithine, this C for carbamyl phosphate, this C for citrulline, this A is for aspartate, here the A is arginosuccinate, fumarate, then the A for arginine, P for, there is no P here, P, and then U for urea. So the next important topics is in this chapter is there is no important topics. So the next chapter is vitamins. So in the vitamins chapter, there is too many important topics from the vitamin chapter. Vitamin is a very important chapter as well as. So at first, vitamin A is a very important topics, that is vitamin A. Vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin. It's derived from the beta carotene source. Its sources, plant sources, animal sources. Then the functions in the vision. Vitamin A helps in the maintaining the integrity of the epithelial tissues, as epithelial layers of skin, respiratory mucosa, esophagus, and the genital tract, and it helps in the preservation of the structural integrity and the normal permeability of all the cell membrane. Number 4, it accelerates the normal formation of bones and teeth, and vitamin A is involved in the synthesis chondroitin sulfate. Now the deficiency of vitamin A is night blindness, then the xerophthalmia, white spot, and the daily requirement needs in the infants. Vitamin A needs about 150 IU for international unit. Then in the children, it needs for like 2000 to 3500 IU, and in the pregnant and lactating women, it needs 8000 IU or international unit. Then the important topics is from after vitamin A, vitamin D. It's also a very important topic. Actually, all the vitamins are important. Vitamin D, it's a group of steroid and commonly found in the animals, mainly in there are two types of active form of vitamin D. They are D2 and D3. D2 and D3. So their source is fish liver oil, egg yolk, butter, milk. The cheapest source is sunlight, which forms vitamin D3 from its precursors present in the skin. Physiological functions are vitamin D increase in the absorption of calcium and phosphate, and there are many physiological functions. Then you'll study the daily requirement of the vitamin D. Then the deficiency of vitamin D, like rickets is a deficiency syndrome of vitamin D. Now the osteomalacia, rickets. Now the vitamin E, it's a antioxidant vitamin. Vitamin E, it's an antioxidant vitamin. So and it's essential for the normal reproduction in many animals, hence known as anti-sterility vitamins. So source is egg, meat, liver, fish, chicken, meat, oat meat, corn oil, cottonseed oil, etc. are the uh, source of vitamin E. Now the functions, membrane structure and integrity of the cells. Now deficiency, anemia, edema, skin changes, and smaller testes of pregnant or sterility in male rat. Then the important is vitamin C. Vitamin C is also important. That is, it's a water soluble versatile vitamin, and it plays important role in the human health and disease. And vitamin C was named ascorbic acid, owing to its anti-sterility vitamin. Anti-sterility properties. Absorbed from the small intestine, then stored in the particular organ, and it's spread throughout the body. Source is amla, citrus fruit. Physiological functions, oxidation reaction of cell. Then the daily requirement is 35 mg for the infants, children 40, and adults is 45 mg. Then deficiency will be scurvy. Vitamin C is scurvy. Now the next important vitamin is all the vitamin B complexes are important, like B1, B12, then the B1, B12, etc. Now let's talk about the vitamin that is about scurvy. Scurvy is an important topic. It's caused due to the deficiency of vitamin C. It's caused by the deficiency of vitamin C and clinical lassitude, then the anorexia, painful limbs, and enlargement of costochondrial junctions. Then the hair follicle rises above skin, hemorrhage may occur. Then the scorbutic child sexually usually assumed a frog-like position. Then the world's visual cycle, it's also important topic, world's visual cycle. Now the next chapter, that is plasma protein. Plasma protein. So plasma protein is important for the immunoglobin. First, immunoglobin. Immunoglobulin are glycoprotein molecules that are produced by plasma cells in response to an immunogen, and which functions as antibodies. It's a glycoprotein. Basic structure of the immunoglobulin. You have to read the basic structure of the immunoglobulin. There are different immunoglobulin, like the immunoglobulins are IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG and IgM. Immunoglobulin A, D, E, G, M. Now the important topic from this chapter is functions of hemoglobin. The main functions. Functions of hemoglobin, that is its main function is to transport oxygen from lungs to tissues, and it facilitates the carbon dioxide from lungs, from tissues, and it acts as an acid base buffer, and it has additional nitric oxide binding sites on the beta chain, which is increased by oxygen. Now the next important topic is from the chapter, that is liver and liver function test. Liver, that is, first is jaundice. From the chapter liver, it is main topic is jaundice. It's a very important topics. Jaundice is a clinical condition where the characterized by the color of sclera of eyes and skin, yellow color of the sclera of eyes and skin, and it is of three types. There are hemolytic, hepatic and pre-hepatic or hemolytic. Hemolytic also known as pre-hepatic or hemolytic, then the hepatic, then the post-hepatic or obstructive. Now from the next chapter, that is mineral metabolism. Mineral metabolism. Dental fluorosis is important. Dental fluorosis, then the dental caries. Excessive intake of fluoride is harmful to the body, and intake above 2 ppm in children cause mantling or mottling of enamel and discoloration of teeth, and these are the weak and become rough with characteristics brown and yellow color patches on their surface. This is referred to as dental fluorosis. Now the dental caries. After dental fluorosis, there is dental caries. Decay or decalcification of the hard teeth is due to organic acids released by the bacterial infections. It's known as dental caries. Now the important topic is gout. Gout is also an important topic. That is, gout is a disease that results from an overtake of uric acid in the body. This overload of uric acid leads to the formation of tiny crystals urate, and which deposit on the tissues of the body. Exposure to joint, it causes recurring attacks of the inflammation. So there is the cause of gout. Then the hyperuricemia is the main cause of gout. Then the signs and symptoms, there will be pain in the joints, usually in the inflammation in the arthritis, inflammatory arthritis. Now from the next chapter, that is DNA replication. DNA replication. In the DNA replication, mutation is one of the most important chapter. Is mutation. More important topics is mutation. Mutation defined as a change in the nuclear sequence of the. It's defined as the change in nucleotide sequence of DNA. It's of two types. There are point mutation and frame shift mutations. Point mutations, replacement or change in the single base. It's a two-type transition transversion. Frame type frame shift mutation, it's also insertion and deletion. So this is enzymes. Now the important chapter, that is enzymes. From the chapter enzymes, most important is enzyme chapter. It's one of the most important chapter. First, what is enzymes? A soluble colloidal organic catalyzed found by the living cells, specific in action, protein in nature, and inactive at 0 degrees Celsius, and destroyed by the most heat at 100 degrees Celsius. Their classification is oxidoreductase, transferase, then the hydrolases, lyase, isomerase, and ligases. Transferase, oxidoreductase. That is number one, oxidoreductase. That is lactate dehydrogenase. Transferase, that is peptidyl transferase. Hydrolases, pepsin, trypsin, lipsin. Well, then lyase, that is lyases, aldehyde lyase. Isomerase, that is glucose phosphate isomerase. Ligase, that is DNA ligase. Different factors affecting the enzymes are temperature, then pH, effect of ion, concentration of substrate, and concentration of enzymes. Now the coenzyme. So isoenzymes are also important topics. One, isoenzyme is also important topics for the important, like now the important, that is next chapter. And from the chapter isoenzyme, and after isoenzyme, digestive importance of enzymes is also important. Very important topics. Digestive importance of enzymes, like digestive enzymes like amylase, lipase. Normal value is 80 to 180 somogal unit per deciliter, but diseases in which it will be increased are acute pancreatitis, mumps, obstruction in pancreatis duct, etc. In these diseases it will be increased. So like this, there are many transamino acids, phosphatase, acid phosphatase, enzymes of carbohydrate metabolism, etc. So these are the important topics for the from the chapter enzymes. Now the cancer chapter, cancer and AIDS. Oncogenes is important. Oncogenes are the genes which capable of causing cancer. So thank you for watching this video.